Are you wondering what is the difference between a Boston Terrier and a French Bulldog? In this video, I actually give you a 25 photo quiz and you need to guess whether or not it's a Frenchie or a Boston, and this will help you develop the ability to see whether or not, hey, that's a Frenchie, or being able to say that's a Boston Terrier. Be sure to stay till the end to see if you can guess all 25 photos correctly. Coming up. Hey everybody, welcome to the Boston Terrier Society YouTube channel. Consider subscribing if you're someone who wants to learn more about the breed, learn what it's like to be an owner, hear expert interviews, as well as connect with other Boston Terrier lovers just like yourself. I'm Donnie Gardner, the founder of BostonTerrierSociety.com. Here is Bella, my Boston of over a decade. Okay, I wanted to create this video because I know there's a lot of videos out there talking about the difference between a Boston Terrier and a Frenchie, but I know a lot of us want to test our skills on being able to see a photo and say, yes, that is a French Bulldog, or saying, yes, that is a Boston Terrier. So with this quiz, I'm actually going to show you the photo, and then after I show you the photo, I'm going to say, hey, is this a Frenchie or a Boston? Then I'm going to give you 7 seconds to make your decision on which dog breed it is. Now, if you want to learn more about the specific differences between these two dog breeds, check in the show notes below because I have an article that's tied to this quiz on my website, BostonTerrierSociety.com, and it actually walks you through what are the differences between the two dog breeds. But without further ado, let's get into the quiz. Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump into the first question. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you chose Frenchie, you are correct. And you can definitely tell by the face. Question number 2. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? Okay, I think this one was a little easier, but if you guessed Boston, you are correct. Photo number 3. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? This is definitely a photo of a Frenchie. And number 4. Is this photo a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed Boston, you are correct. Photo number 5. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed a Boston, you're correct. It's a cute little Boston, by the way. Photo number 6. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed Boston, you are correct. I tried to make this one a little bit trickier where you're not looking right at the head of the Boston. Alright, number 7. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed Frenchie, you are correct. This one's just a little more stout. You can tell also by the ears. Number 8. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed Boston, you are correct. Cute little Boston. Bella hates the snow, by the way. Number 9. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? This one is 100% a French Bulldog, and I do like the color of this type of French Bulldog. Number 10. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? This one is a French Bulldog. Number 11. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed Frenchie, you are correct. Number 12. Is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed French Bulldog for this one, you are correct. It's a different looking Frenchie, but it's 100% a Frenchie. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you want to get more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the Boston Terrier Society YouTube channel. Back to the quiz. Number 13, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? This one is 100% Boston Terrier. Number 14, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed French Bulldog, you are correct. Number 15, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? Okay, this one was a little easier. Definitely easier. This one's a Boston Terrier. Number 16, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? This one was, of course, a Boston Terrier. Number 17, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? This dog right here is 100% Frenchie. Number 18, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? Okay, now this one was a little tricky for me because I would have personally said that looks like a Frenchie. Just the way its face looks, its ears, a little bit wider. I would think that's a mix of a Boston Terrier and a French Bulldog, but I went ahead and left it to the community on BostonTerrierSociety.com. I had over 197 respondents and 90% of them said Boston. So for this answer, if you guessed Boston, you're going to be going with the majority of people, and we're going to put it down as a Boston Terrier. If you have any questions or doubts about it, definitely put it in the comments below this video. So we're going to go with Boston on number 18. Number 19, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed Frenchie, you are correct. Number 20, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? This is a photo of a Boston Terrier. Number 21, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? Tried to find a little tricky of a photo. If you guessed Boston Terrier, you are correct. Number 22, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed French Bulldog, you are correct. I feel like it's definitely a mix. It could be a mix of Boston and Frenchie because it has like those brindle markings and markings that kind of look like Boston, but this is a Frenchie. Number 23, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed Boston Terrier, you are correct. Number 24, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? If you guessed Boston Terrier, you are correct. Number 25, and the final question, is this a photo of a French Bulldog or a Boston Terrier? With this one, if you guessed Frenchie, you are correct. Okay, did you get 100%? If you did, put it in the comments below just for some nice little bragging rights. Now, if you saw a photo and you're like, I think that was a Frenchie, but he says it's a Boston Terrier, put that in the comments below as far as what number you think was a Boston or a Frenchie, and then we can start a little lively debate down in the comments section. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel just so you can get the latest from Boston Terrier Society. And if you'd like to do another quiz, I have a 25-question quiz testing your Boston Terrier knowledge. You can check that quiz out here, or you can watch one of my latest videos here. Otherwise, until next time, life is better with a Boston.